Alright, and we're back with some more Everlasting Summer. I don't have a whole lot of time to record right now. I've got a very small window, so hopefully I can get in as much as possible. So let's just dive right into it, so that way we can get through this a little faster. Alright. Looks like I'll have to kill time alone waiting for dinner. I decided to go east. At least in the direction where east would be in my world. Soon after, I found myself near a football pitch. A game was in full swing there. Really? Looks pretty dead to me. I guess watching it for a bit wouldn't do any harm. In my childhood and teen years, I was not a bad player myself, and even thought of going professional. But a few injuries in a row killed my desire to risk my health for the sake of an uncertain chance in the game. Kids of different ages were running around the pitch. I could see a boy of about 10 and a girl of about 14 years old. A girl. Hey, that's Yelana. Alright, so she plays football. What's so surprising? She seems a restless one, after all. I was standing quite far from the pitch, but she still noticed me. Hey you! Yelana shouted. Wanna play? I didn't know how to answer. On the one hand, running around for 10 minutes is no big deal. On the other hand, any wrong move in my situation could be a final one. But in any case, my attire wasn't suitable for this weather. If I played in winter boots and warm jeans, I would sweat like a pig. And playing barefoot and without jeans would be simply unethical. Maybe some other time, alright? I shouted in response, turned around, and walked back. I was followed by Yelana's screams about my pants, or about me being a pansy, or something like that. Evening was falling, making me feel tired and empty after a day wasted with no real purpose. I came back to the square, sat down on a bench, and gave an exhausted sigh. I'd better sit here and wait for dinner. After all, it's easier to search for answers when you're not hungry. They do give food to the people here, right? You know, it's curious how the simplest human needs can break the will to ponder these things, to strive for something. For example, I feel hungry now, so I care much less about where I am or what is happening to me. Could great people also be affected by this? Yes. And in that case, how did Spartacus start the slave uprising in ancient times? I think they were fed. Just not much. I can only conclude that I am not a great person, and it does not really matter which mechanism I serve as a gear in, society, the Matrix, or weird pioneer camp. My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of bells chiming from a loudspeaker on a light pole. It must be the dinner call. I headed towards the canteen. It was a good thing that now I knew where it was. Olga Dmitrievna was there, standing on the porch. I stopped and looked closely at her, as if I were expecting something. She looked back at me for a while, but at last came closer. Semyon, what are you waiting for? Come in already. Guess nothing bad can happen if I go with her. My stomach backed me up here. The two of us went inside. The canteen looked like a canteen. I had a chance to visit a factory canteen at some point in my life. This one was exactly the same, just maybe a bit cleaner and more modern. Metal chairs and tables, glazed tiles on the wall and on the floor, unsophisticated tableware with the occasional crack. Guess that's what a canteen in a pioneer camp Wow, why is this sentence so hard? Guess that's what a canteen in a pioneer camp's supposed to look like. I'm just going to call him Simon, because that's easier for me to say. Simon, wait a moment. We'll find you a place to sit. She looked around the place. How to say that? That one. Hold it right there. Olga Dmitrievna shouted at Alyssa, who was passing by. Okay. What? What's up with your clothes? Anything wrong with them? Indeed, her attire looked somewhat provocative. Get your uniform nice and neat right now. All right. Alyssa got her shirt right and walked past, shooting an unpleasant glare at me. So, where can we find you a place to sit? There weren't a lot of free seats. Go over there, next to Yelena. Yeah, it's fine. The food's already on the table, too. I had no other choice but to accept. In common Russian language, cutlet is a minced meat, fried or baked, in the shape of a ball or a cylinder close to American patties. Compote is a drink made by boiling fresh or dried fruit in a large amount of water. Compote in French. So it's tea. Come here. I like tea. Oh, it's empty. Well, that's depressing. Okay. Of course, there was the probability that the cutlets were poisoned with curare, whatever that is, the mashed potatoes generously seasoned with arsenic, and the glass filled with excellent antifreeze instead of compote. I'm told arsenic tastes like garlic. I've never tried it. But it all looked so tasty that I had no choice to resist. Hey! What do you want? I replied rather rudely to Yelena, who was sitting next to me. Why didn't you play football with us? Because of my clothes. I said I, because, people think like that, pointing at the source of the problem. Oh, all right then, eat. However, there wasn't much left to eat. My cutlet was missing from the plate. Only she could have done it. More precisely, none but Yelena could have taken it. Give me back my cutlet. In a big family, you snooze, you lose. It can cost you a cutlet if you're careless. Give it back, I'm telling you. Let's attempt to get it. We're hungry. I looked at her menacingly and was about to reach out my hand. See, I don't have it. And indeed, Yelena's plate was empty. It seemed that this little girl eats as fast as she steals someone's cutlets. Take it easy. We'll work something out now. She grabbed my plate and ran off. There was no point in following her. If they wanted to poison me here, they could have done it in a much easier way. About a minute later, Yelena returned and handed me the plate with a steaming hot cutlet on it. That's a tiny cutlet and a lot of mashed potatoes. Here's one for the starving. Thanks. It was all I could say. I was so hungry that my suspicions were gone in a flash. I picked up the cutlet with my fork and... What the? Some bug. What the hell? Not a bug. An insect! Aren't those the same thing? It got legs and it's wiggling. It got legs. English to Russian Russian to English translations. Gotta love them. The plate fell to the floor and broke into pieces. The chair hit me hard on my leg while falling. I've disliked insects since I was a child, but when these creepy crawlies appear in my plates, that's just way too much. You little... Yelena seemed ready for such a twist and was already at the door laughing as if she had just heard a fresh stand-up comedy joke. I dashed after her. We ran out of the canteen. We were just a few dozen meters apart, and I felt I would catch this little girl easily. We ran through the square, past the club's house, and ran onto the forest path. I started to gasp for breath. I should have quit smoking, I guess. I didn't know he smoked. Oh wait, yes I did. Maybe. Yelena passed out of sight on the next turn. It can't be true that she managed to get away from me. It simply can't. I stopped and tried to catch my breath again. Night was falling. Looks like I'm lost. It's a bad idea to stay in the woods at night. Better get back to the camp. However, I had absolutely no clue which way to go. Well, gotta choose at random. I wandered for quite some time in the forest, and even thought of crying for help, but finally I saw the camp's fence beyond the trees. Everything fell back into place. The bus is gone, I mumbled quietly. On the one hand, there was nothing strange about that. The bus couldn't just stay there forever. On the other hand, it meant there was someone driving, because buses do not drive themselves. Or do they? This world seemed too normal, but every event here had at least two explanations for it: an ordinary, real, everyday explanation, and a surreal one. Certainly the driver could have just been off for a snack, and I left too soon, and that's why. In any case, this is not the place for me. Whether that bus drives itself or not was probably an important question, but it was much more important to know how I had got here at all. And where this here was. That's a weird sentence. The fields and the woods stretching toward the horizon had no answers. There was nothing familiar about them. A strange, odd, and alien world. However, at the same time, it was absolutely not frightening. Either my self-preservation instinct decided to resign from its job, or all this running around the camp and the local pioneers had lulled me so much with their carefree normality that I was simply forgetting what had happened to me just a couple of hours ago. Although I probably just had no strength left to worry. All I wanted was some peace, calmness. I wanted to just have a break from it all, and only after that would I continue looking for answers, ready and reloaded. However, that would be some time later. And what about now? Can I allow myself to relax? It got completely dark, and in any case, it was better to spend the night in the camp. I was about to head back when someone came up silently from behind. "Hello, what are you doing here so late?" It was Slavia standing before me. I was so surprised that I jumped. "So, you didn't catch Yelena, did you?" She smiled. I nodded disappointedly and sighed. "No wonder. No one ever has. Yeah, she's a real rocket girl. She could have found a better use for her energy than looking for adventures. You must be hungry. You didn't manage to have dinner after all." Indeed, I had completely forgot about my hunger, but after these words of hers, my stomach drew attention to itself by giving a treacherous rumble. Slavia smiled. "Let's go then." "What, is the canteen still open?" "It's all right. I have the keys." "The keys?" "Yes, I have the keys to all the faculties in this camp." "How come?" "Well, I'm something like the camp leader's aide here." "I see. Well, let's go." It was an offer you can't refuse. When we reached the square, Slavia stopped in her tracks. "Excuse me, I should warn my roommates that I'll be late. She's so punctual herself that she'll be worried otherwise." "You go on to the canteen, and I'll come in a minute. All right?" "All right." I really did not expect to find someone aside from myself there at such a late hour, and that somebody was apparently trying hopelessly to open the door. Without any secret thoughts, I walked up onto the porch. The lockpicker turned out to be Alyssa. I should have probably kept off and waited. She looked at me intently for a while, and then said, "Don't just stand there. Give me a hand or something." "Meaning?" "Help me open the door." "Why?" "'Cause I want some buns and kefir. Dinner wasn't big enough." Is that really a good idea?" "Aren't you hungry yourself, huh?" "Yelena didn't let you have a normal dinner, did she?" She smiled sarcastically. "It's true, she didn't." "It's fine. Slavia will come now and—" "What?" Guess I shouldn't have said that. "I'm off then, and you'll pay for this." You owe me 2 already. Having said that, Alyssa disappeared into the night. And what was the first one? Slavia didn't keep me waiting for too long. Is everything all right? Yeah, why are you asking? No reason, it's nothing. It would be better if I didn't tell her about Alyssa. Everything's fine. I said that and immediately heard a note of dishonesty in my voice. Well, shall we go? As for Slavia, she seemed not to have noticed anything. Or at least she was pretending she hadn't. We entered the canteen. Wait a bit, I'll go get something. I sat down on a chair and obediently waited for my savior. My dinner was simple, a few buns and a glass of kefir. I'm not sure what kefir is. No wonder, I bet hungry pioneers finished everything off. However, even that was far better than most of my usual diet. Slavia sat across the table and looked at me while I was eating. Is there something on my face? No, just... She smiled. So, how did you like your first day in the camp? Well, I don't really know. It's silly to ask someone who suddenly found himself in a different reality whether he liked the food in the canteen, the camp leader, or his assigned HUD. It's all right. You'll soon get used to it. Slavia stared out the window dreamily. Frankly speaking, I have no desire to get used to such things, but as for her, she doesn't know. Or at least, she wants me to think that she doesn't. Well, all in all, it's nice here. I had to somehow break the awkward silence. Do you think so? She asked without any interest. Yeah, this place is so... I wanted to say retro, but I managed to hold that back. After all, it was retro for me, but what about them? It might be the only kind of life they knew. If the term life was applicable here at all. So how? She watched me closely, as if something important depended on my answer. Well, I don't know. Lovely? Yeah, it's lovely here. I guess you're right. She smiled again. It's very good that you think so. Why? Well, not everybody likes it here. And what about you? Me? Yes. I love it here. It's great. Then you don't need to worry about what other people think. Well, I don't really worry. Slavia laughed. This conversation seemed to be leading me far astray from where I wanted to get to. And you're worried yourself? Really? Why do you say so? Well, when someone is chewing so intensely... I'm sorry. It's okay. I couldn't bring myself to be more cautious around this girl. But why her in particular? Why not any other local inhabitant? Every one of them looked completely normal to me. Precisely normal. So normal it sends chills down my spine and into my marrow. Normal, not like a neighbor with a power drill in one hand and a subwoofer in the other. Not like a passenger you can often meet in a subway or on public transport. Not like a coworker at the next table in an open plan office. And not even like a friend who only differs from other humans in his constant existence. All of them looked normal, as I would expect them to be, with their own downsides, but without any superpowers. And Slavia was also cute. I glanced at her stealthily, not knowing what to say. I'm sorry, I wanted to show you the camp, but was ran off my feet. I didn't miss anything while on my own, I guess. Are you sure you haven't missed anything at all? She smiled so brightly that I had to drop my eyes in confusion. Well, how would I know? It's my first day here. Okay. And what have you seen so far? I've seen the square, this canteen, the football field. And what about the beach? Just from afar. You really should go there. Or let's do it together. Yeah, okay, we will. Her naturalness started to scare me, but then I thought, what if everything that happens here is how it's supposed to be, and this world looks strange only to me, while for them, it is normal? Maybe I was thrown into the past. Yes, that would explain a lot. Can I ask a stupid question? No. Slavia smiled and stood up from the table. It's late. Can you find the way to Olga Dmitrievna's by yourself? Of course I can. But why should I go there? She'll settle you in with someone. What for? Probably this question seemed stupid, because Slavia burst into good-natured laughing. You need to sleep somewhere, right? Oh, that makes sense. Fine, I'll be off then. Good night. Night. It's strange that she left in such a hurry. A bundle of keys left in the door lock caught my attention. I was going to catch up to Slavia, but where does she live? And knocking on every door during the middle of the night didn't sound like a bright idea. I'll take the keys so nobody steals them, like, Alyssa. I'd better take them. I'll give them back to her tomorrow, because who knows what happens here at night. Such thoughts give me chills. It's me who needs to be careful here in the first place. The night, though dark, wasn't silent at all. I could hear chirping crickets, the songs of the night birds, and the rustling trees from everywhere. The sudden desire to follow Slavia's advice and go to the camp leader's cabin appeared. I don't know why, but the sight of the unknown bronze builder of communism put me in a constructive mood. I sat on the bench and started to recall everything that happened today. That was all my constructive mood could offer. Here was a much brighter than near the canteen. Here was much brighter. Okay. And tardy pioneers were running by, so this place didn't seem scary at all. Bus, summer camp, girls. I was so tired from everything new and strange that I could not come up with a single explanation for what was going on. I heard a barely noticeable rustle nearby. I shivered and looked in that direction. And cliffhanger! I have to end it there because I have things and stuff to do, and I'm out of time. Thanks for reading with me? I'm logging off now. I'll see you guys later. Bye!